everyone. Welcome to my second episode of Man's Girl USA. If you don't already know, what we talk about is politics, sports, cigars, whiskey, and music, anything in between. I want to talk about a couple of things that have been really just kind of on my mind. So the first thing is, what the hell is up with the NBA officiating? I mean, they better do something and figure this out, or they're going to lose fans left and right. And when you lose fans, you don't just lose ticket sales, you lose merch sales, you lose all kinds of, people watching on the NBA app. And there's so many revenue streams that they're going to suffer from. So they need to figure it out quickly. But I feel like it's happened a few times in a game with the Lakers, with Luka Doncic. It's happened in other scenarios. And I'm just really shocked that NBA hasn't stepped in yet and really double checked these guys and maybe put them through training again or something. Anyway, so that's the one of my rants. And then the other one is not really a rant, but as a Catholic, Roman Catholic, I was kind of nervous about the selection of the Pope. I was really worried about it, prayed about it a lot, though. I decided to put it in God's hands because at the end of the day, this is something from God. Really, it is. And I'm just going to put my trust in God the way I do in most things, and just know that it's his will and it's in his hands anyway. So that's my thing. And I know I'd asked everybody what their thoughts were. And it was, thanks for responding to me on all the different social media platforms. It was kind of interesting hearing everybody's take. So you guys rock. But I'm excited because I have a friend of mine that I've known, went to high school together. He's into cigars, he's into whiskey. So it was like, hey, you got to do my podcast. And he was like, yeah. Ladies and gents, Jasen Thixton. Hey, Jasen, thanks for being here.
Hey, how are you? Thanks for having me.
I love Mazzy Star. I got to tell you, the posters you have in the back, every band you have back there, every poster, the Sundays, likes it. Yes, good taste in music. That's awesome.
Well, I'm living with my son, so I thought, well, I'll become. I'm kind of trying to be young right now, so yeah.
Whatever, you like that music all the time.
I do.
Until you are, it's a young soul. Yeah,
music is
cool.
just therapy.
I know. I love music. I mean, I've talked about this before. I can't really talk about the specific kinds of music. I think you and I have had this conversation because literally, if you look at my playlist, you're going to see like so many different genres. You're like, how many personalities does this chick have? Like, what's going on in her head? Yeah.
Same here. Pantera to Air Supply.
I have Mexican music. Lila Downs is one of my favorite Mexican artists.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, she's amazing. If you've never heard her, check her music.
I'm gonna have to follow you on. I'm gonna have to because now you can follow people's playlists. You can get on board with people's playlists, and it's just a great way. I need to get on board with that.
Yeah, I need to share that.
Sharing playlists and turning people on to new music, and I like a lot of weird stuff that a lot of people have never heard of, and I need to do that. I need to get on Spotify. I'm a big vinyl guy. I'm kind of old school, but I need to get on because I have playlists for the gym that you just want to start it, and it's a great.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
It's going to be. You're not going to go do the double click because I don't want to hear this. It's going to
no. I know.
You curated it. It's
my playlist, my cycling. I have one for my Peloton. It's completely different from the one I have for my weight training. My weight training has a lot of like Rage Against the Machine, Drowning Pool, Jesus Metallica, yeah.
You can't listen to country at the gym. I've never understood. I just there's certain genres I can't see giving you a good, but to each his own.
I know. I never understood that though. I'm like, how do you listen to that? And I have to feel it. Like I have to be literally like, I have to feel that music and just get that workout on, lifting weights and, take your creatine and get that extra boost, when you're lifting on a heavy day or whatever.
We want to pump you up.
You can't get 2 more reps and listen to 2 less lonely people. And you can't do Air Supply. That's not going to help you dig down deep into your pecs and push one out. I got you.
No, your wrist will go limp.
Yeah, you'll just
say it.
This is love songs. This isn't helping me.
Yeah, because I don't love the pain, but I do love the effects of it afterwards. But I know that you've gotten into some cigars and whiskey, and I've been seeing some of your pictures, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's the good stuff. So tell me what cigars you're into lately. Like I personally, I don't have a preference on the Clados and the Maduros. I have to be in the mood for like a Maduro, like a bold, dark one. Um, and then sometimes when I'm just like not really, I want to smoke, but I'm not really like wanting to taste it too much. I'll do like a Clado, and I'll do like Romeo and Juliet's are great because they are a little bit more I don't know, less bold, a little bit more mild in the flavor. If you get the Clados, right? So what are
Right.
you into right now? Tell me.
Well, I'm really brand new with cigars. And I just started in the last 6 months getting into whiskeys. I'm brand new, but I want to get into cigars because people tell me you need to. One complements the other. So
Oh yeah.
I've smoked cigars before. I've actually had a Cuban cigar and was like, this is delicious.
Yeah.
I need to get turned on. I'm a researcher. I will go nuts watching. I like lists as far as top 10 this. And if you read a bunch of top 10, what people put out there and you see the same name on all these lists, you kind of know that
Hmm.
this has got to be good because all these different people have this.
Well, we need to
Interested
have you
in
over sometime because Steve has he has a really nice selection. You may or may
ooh,
not have some Cubans, but I've gotten into they're called nubs, and they have like regular nubs, and they have like they're like this different sizes. They're usually pretty small. That's why they're called nubs. But they're flavored, and when I light one up, it almost smells like a pipe, and everybody always says, "Oh my gosh, it smells so good." So I don't
ooh,
like.
you're making me crave one.
So when I first got started smoking them, I started smoking the flavored ones, like the acid cigars, and that's fine. Those are good starter cigars to me. It's kind of like when you eat sushi. You want to have that sushi with the cream cheese and the fried crab cake in it and all that to get people started on it with just a little bit of raw
Right,
fish. Then you slowly graduate into it. The same
right.
thing with cigars. I always say when people say, "Well, I've always wanted tea. I just don't know if I like the taste." I'm like, start with an acid cigar, the blue wrapper. That's the best to me. That's how I got started, and I love them. And then I got into more bold flavor. So I do like a good Cuban. I love EP Curl. Is it Carrillo? I think. Yeah. Anyway, we have all kinds of cigars. It just depends on my mood, but then also the whiskey. So I like to pair them. A good bold cigar to me has to have a bold whiskey. And I don't know if everybody is that way. Maybe somebody says, I like a bold one with a lighter, mild whiskey to balance. But for me, the bolder the cigar, the bolder the whiskey.
Oh,
Um,
wow.
yeah, I mean, a smooth but bold, high quality because you know there's a difference, and sometimes you can't when you don't have that kick of that alcohol, but it's so smooth and you could just taste the rich whiskey. You're like, oh my gosh, cigars are whiskey.
Someone had to tell me you're not inhaling this. You're absorbing. You're absorbing in your mouth. I had to learn that. I thought you had to control how much goes into your lung.
Oh no, no.
Yeah,
Are you
you'll
kidding? I would
die.
get so
You
sick. Mm.
might
Yeah,
as well go suck on the exhaust of a truck and go, this just tastes decent. I had to learn, but I'm telling you, I definitely want to be that guy that at the end of the day sips a good whiskey and pairs it with what you're saying. Figure out what works, and that's definitely something I'd be interested in.
I've seen your whiskey. So here's right now, here's what we normally keep in our whiskey cabinet because we rotate, but I go through my kicks. So I've been on a Basil Hayden kick. Oh my
Oh
God,
my
it's so
gosh,
good. Isn't that just so it's so smooth, but
and
has such a
it's
good flavor.
accessible.
Yes, yes. So that Blanton's and Woodford is usually for a special occasion. We also do Remy. I like cognac, so we have a bottle of that.
Oh
We
man,
do so the whiskeys, that's usually what we have. And then also Elijah Craig,
yes.
Bullet, and there's one more I'm leaving out. Buffalo Trace. Yes.
And I think my collecting record, the joy of looking for that rare album and finding it, that joy, it spilled over into looking for these hard. I just found some Blantons in Tulsa, and I'm looking for a Eagle. My barber gave me a shot of Eagle Rare a week ago, and like I said, I only have two. If I drink three, that same diabetic, I've learned I can do two. I can do it with
Yeah.
water. I can do it neat. I can do it with with a topo. He let me try the Eagle Rare, and it was so delicious. It was so smooth. There wasn't a burn. And I just sat there as he's cutting my hair. I could feel the aftertaste for a
Oh,
long time. And I'm like,
yeah.
I've got to find a bottle.
I have seen that, but I've been seeing that a lot lately, and I've been wanting to try that. So that might be one I put on my list for us to go try.
oh,
Um,
it's so good.
yeah. At least go to a
Vanilla
bar,
viscous.
maybe. Go to a bar
Yeah,
and get a shot before you commit to buying a bottle because whiskey isn't cheap if you buy the good stuff. Do you know what I realized? So my entire life, especially during St. Patty's Day, that's the day, man, I will take off. I take off, I plan for it. I take off from work
that's cool.
and we spend the day usually down on 15th Street. But I went to a cigar shop and about 2 years ago, yeah, 2 years ago, and I always did Jameson, right? And then I drink Guinness. That's what I do on St. Patty's Day. I
Oh,
love
yeah.
Guinness. Oh. So anyway, I go and I tell the guy, I want a shot. I said, "Oh, the shot is just so strong." And he goes, "Well, why don't you just drink it, with a rock and on the rocks?" And I said, "Is that?" He goes, "People don't know, and sometimes that it's a sipping whiskey." I was like, "What?" And
Yes.
I
I
so
had
I
to learn
did
that.
that.
I had to
Yes.
learn that.
So I drank it for the first time, and I was like, holy shit, this stuff is good. Like, why didn't anybody tell me it's delicious to sip on the
It
rocks?
is. Your words are in red like the Bible right now. Sipping it is so
Oh,
different than making a mixed drink or taking a shot. You want to smell those flavor notes. Then you want to, it's getting past the burn. And feeling the aftertaste, and you pick up those vanilla, those oak, those fruity notes. And absolutely, I'm learning that I like it with just a little bit of water. I don't know if that's called straight. I know it's not neat.
no,
Neat
no, it's
is,
not.
it's not cold, it's not ice, it's
Neat is
it's
just, yeah, no,
just
no
whiskey.
rocks or anything. Yeah.
But I like it with just a little bit of water, and sometimes with ice. But I like the sweet, smooth stuff, and the Basil Hayden toast.
Yeah.
It's my favorite. It
Now
is
I
my
like,
absolute favorite, and it's not that
I have to try
expensive.
that. I have not had that one yet. So I'm
And the
excited to
red
try
wine
that.
cask Basil
Okay.
Hayden, I just
I'll
tried
have
that a
to
week
try
ago.
that. Yeah.
And you
So
need
I
to
like,
send me some. You need to send me some links. You need to send me some starter cigars. I'm going to
oh,
Mayfest
we'll have you
tonight.
over. We'll have you over sometime,
I
but,
want to try one. I want to go buy a
okay,
cigar in the
after the
month of
show,
May.
after the podcast, I will send you some links. But
Hey,
going back
let's
to the
see if you
whiskey on the Jameson, the reason I made such a big deal about it is because it's not just any whiskey. I mean, that's an Irish whiskey, and
right.
people always take it as a shot because it's so strong, right? But right before they drink a beer, and to learn that it's a sipping whiskey and to enjoy it on the rocks like that was incredible. Now,
Yeah.
I personally, that didn't really have the notes didn't really jump out to me. It just has a really good, I don't know, maybe barrel taste. But I personally like Knob Creek because it
Yes.
has notes of maple. I love that mapley,
I've never
caramely,
tried
caramelized.
Knob
Oh,
Creek. I need to
that's
get
also in
on
my
that.
cabinet. Yeah, that's good too. So you're going to Mayfest tonight. You're brave. I don't even just don't
Well,
even
I
go
haven't
anywhere
been. I'm
anymore.
still a tourist. I've been back to Tulsa now 8 months, and it used to be my favorite festival. I like it more than Oktoberfest. There's just something special about the art scene, and my coworkers last night said it's gotten real political. You might be unpleasantly surprised. So I'm going to venture down there and see what I see. But I just have always loved Mayfest.
Yeah. I mean, don't even get me started. I'm just going to tell you, it's weird because people think you, okay, I kind of separate everything. So I used to be the girl when people would go onto our restaurant pages, I'd say, they'd be like, I just moved here from California. I just moved here from Chicago. I just moved from New York. And I'm like, I used to say, don't blow up my city. Don't blow up my city. Don't blow up my city. And
I'm
people were
right there
like,
with
that's
you.
mean. But I'm like, listen, it's not mean because these dumbasses, I'm not trying to be mean, but they leave the shithole blue city that they live in. They come to a beautiful red state with red cities and then they vote blue policies. I get very
Agree
passionate about it.
100%.
Now, at this point, Tulsa is pretty much blue. It just is.
It
Not
is.
Tulsa County, but Tulsa, city of Tulsa is blue. I don't care. I'm going to piss off a lot of people. This isn't for you if you're going to get, all I'm just going to say it. This is MAGA. But But listen,
I
I love
agree.
diversity too, though. I'm not, despite the ignorance of the liberals, the far left idiots who put every MAGA person into one pocket. I'm Mexican, people. Okay. I am Mexican. My mom and dad came over here with green cards. My mom became a US citizen, and I was born here. And I was born on the 4th of July. And listen, to for me, I miss Houston for the diversity. I love diversity. I love people from other countries. I loved all the
There's a lot of it
restaurants.
down there.
Oh my gosh. And the Asian in the Asian sector, within the Asian, almost every country was represented there within Asia, the Asia continent. I mean, it's incredible the different types of foods that are there. I mean, I'm a total foodie, this, but
I know this.
I miss the food scene in Houston. I feel like Tulsa is becoming a little mini Houston. I used to say it was a mini Austin, but it surpassed that. It's a mini Houston. It really is. I don't know where you've been to eat, but I can't wait to share some places with you. There's a new place that it's been around already for a while. I think it's been a year now. Misfits Kitchen. That's a place I've been wanting to try.
Ooh,
Yes, you are going to love it. It's across the street from the tavern. So, there's a
okay.
cigar shop, down on Reconciliation Way. Yeah, you'll see Misfits Kitchen. I've been wanting to try it because
I need to try it because
yeah,
I'm
people.
always looking. I'm so glad we segued from whiskey to Tulsa and politics because I am constantly, and I did this the 8 years I was gone because I would come up every 3 months, and the running joke with me and my friends was Tulsa waited for Jasen Thixton to move to get cool. Oklahoma legalized cannabis. The Gathering Place was birthed, the Tulsa startup. But I saw the change in Tulsa when I left in 2017. I saw it turn into this. What happened? And I'm constantly asking people, what do you think it was that changed the closed-minded, boring, no personality having Oklahoma into this? It's got its identity. It's turned into a mini Austin. It got diverse. It got the food scene, the art scene, the music scene. It just changed. I
Oh,
remember
it's got the good
starving
stuff.
for these
Yes.
things in the 90s. It's all about Midtown and downtown and the growth, the gentrification, the explosion of growth downtown and in Midtown. And I'm constantly asking people what happened, who launched the grenade to cause this. It
You
can't
know what
all
it
be
is, don't you?
cannabis. I
No,
want
but
to
you know
know.
what it. Okay,
I really
and
want to know. I
this is
want your
just
take on it.
this is just an opinion. Okay, first of all, I'm not a fan of gentrification because I feel like it pushes a lot of people out of their homes and stuff. Like I saw a documentary on it, so I'm really, it's there's always
There's a
pain
flip
points.
side to it.
There's always a downside to growth. Always. I don't care if it's
Always.
traffic, orange barrels, people coming in from other states voting blue, but you have to look at the beautiful side. So enough with the negative. The positive of it is you do get a beautiful diversity of people. You get the food scene, like you said, just the art. Holy moly, the art that you see anymore is
Yeah.
just beautiful. And I love Tulsa. I'm glad I don't live there, but I do love it. And so I think what happened was a few years ago, I think it was like 2018, 2019, the mayor, okay, I got into it one time on LinkedIn, Mayor Bynum, because, he called it the welcoming city. And I was like, everybody knew. He denied it, but everybody knew because there were people who I knew someone that worked for the county. Okay. I was told it's a sanctuary city. It's in the closet. Okay. I'm not surprised
Oh,
because,
wow. I
yeah.
did not
So
know
he
this.
denied that because I called him out. Why don't you just stop calling it a welcoming city and call it what it is? We're a sanctuary city. And he was like, that's not true. And I was like, yes, it is. We went back and forth. The thing is,
Really?
yes,
Wow.
I liked Bynum because again, downside, he was a closeted Democrat. He and George Kaiser, to me, the Kaiser family is kind of like the Soros family, but on a local level. But they live in San Francisco. They have a house in San Francisco. And all of these rich oligarchs that the Democrats keep calling for Republicans is really they're Democrats. Okay. Everybody knows that. He put in a lot of money into the city. And I think Kaiser's whole goal was to turn our city blue. And he did it. He does what
Wow.
George Soros does everywhere else, but he had his focus on where is a big red state. where Oklahoma City and Tulsa are the biggest, largest populations, and how quickly can you turn a state blue? You start with the biggest cities, right? And the people with the most
Right, right.
population. He launched a program that was called the remote
Yes.
something. You remember that?
Remote startup,
Yep.
$10,000. We're going
That's
to
when
give you.
everybody came. Yep.
Yeah,
Everybody
that's
came.
that's a
Yeah.
big reason. The
So
gathering place, cannabis, and this startup. I think those three really had a lot to do with the growth.
yeah, that whole thing. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I would, if it was legal, I would smoke it too. I would probably eat the edibles, whatever.
I'm in oil and gas industry. I will never be able to smoke it because of what I do.
But I will say
But
this, there's a downside to that because when I was living in Texas when they legalized it, and I remember the first time I came home, and I remember coming through, and it was kind of like the scene. I literally saw myself as George Bailey on It's a Wonderful Life going home when he got knocked out, and it was Pottersville. That's what it felt like. I was like
oh
driving through
wow.
going, you see all of these cannabis, and it kind of makes everything ghettofied a little bit. There was too many shops that opened
Yeah.
up, and like you're shitting up this neighborhood, man. Like,
It's
yes.
hard to get a card. Texas is so hard. Don't we need to have a Texas episode, and let me tell you about my 8-year adventure in Houston and how it changed my life. That's such a big topic, but it's hard. You got to have stage 4 cancer to get a card in Texas. It is so
Wow.
strict. Texas does have medicinal, but it is you
They
have to
didn't
have.
always. When did that pass? Because they didn't
I
always.
don't remember, but it's a lot of people don't know this. It is medicinal, but you're not going to be able to do it all. The Generation Z, the millennial, everybody has anxiety. Everybody has
Don't even get me started.
insomnia and anxiety, and boom, you qualify for a
Don't
card.
even
Not
get
in
me.
Texas.
I call it the pacification of our society. Even athletes don't look as manly as they used to. If you look at the football teams from back in the 70s and 80s, and you look at
Oh,
them now, you're
smoking.
like,
They're over there smoking on the
they're
bench.
smoking, yeah, or you see like the greats. Oh my gosh, like Michael Jordan smoking a cigar during his documentary. I'm like, yeah, drinking a glass of whiskey straight. You just don't see that these days. These guys are
No.
just like, I hate to keep using the word limp wristed, but I heard that and I thought that perfectly to me describes males of today. I mean, it's like, buck up, dudes. This is why I think I am so MAGA, because men are still men, women are still women. I am not afraid to say facts like, yes, men are stronger than women. They will always be stronger than women. I hope they're always stronger than women. These idiot liberals, okay, now you're supporting men in women's sports. Do you see the retardassery of it all? Like, are you kidding me? Like, I just can't with these liberals sometimes. They're so
Satan
ass
is a
backwards.
master deceiver. The whole
Yes.
sex politics, the whole. You know what makes me mad? You want to talk about makes me mad is watching the clips of in Congress when they're asking what the definition of a woman is and no one in the room can say it. I get so mad. I just sit there and go, I was born in 1970 and I never thought I'd live to see this silliness that you've got conservatives asking liberals define a woman. If we're going to have this conversation about allowing men, biological males, into women's bathrooms, into women's sports, define and they can't, and it just blows my
It
mind.
blows my mind too. You know what? I'm just thinking to myself, keep on, because you're just weakening your freaking Democratic Party, because
Yeah,
everybody with a brain now sees past through your foolishness.
well, that's
And
why Trump won. People have
yes,
had enough of
yes,
wokeness.
that and
They
social
shoot
media.
themselves. They shoot themselves in the
I
foot
think,
every
I think
day.
Elon Musk needs to be celebrated. We need to have an Elon Musk day. And I'll tell you why. Not only did he do what Trump did, where he wasn't getting paid to do his job, like President Trump donates his money to charity, right? He's not doing backdoor deals with China or anything like that, like the big guy. But Elon Musk is to be celebrated for he immigrated here legally. He
Yeah,
wasn't born here, and he has done so much more for our country than some idiot liberals have.
I
The
agree.
fact that the moment he took over, I think he started seeing it when X was Twitter and that stupid CEO was suppressing people. And he was like, wait a minute. So he took over and allowed us to have can say whatever I want on there. And people can say
Yeah.
whatever they want to me. The difference is when I go on TikTok, the Chinese owned TikTok, when I go on Meta, still, even though he's had his hand slapped in Congress, um, they will suppress me or say it goes against our community standards. I'm like,
Yeah.
just called me a MAGA fuckhead
Right.
maggot, and I'm like, but I can't say you guys are stupid. Like, are you kidding me?
Liberals are never fact checked. It's always us. Yeah,
God,
absolutely.
it just sucks. But thank God.
You
But
can't
going back
say
to
the
Elon,
word white trash. I can't say I come from white trash on Facebook. You'll be in Facebook jail. You can't say it.
you can't say anything that goes. I'm surprised they don't let you though, because they're so anti-white. I mean, I can't believe they don't let you say that. To be honest, because it's derogatory to yourself. I mean, really.
I have to
But Elon,
put in parentheses queso trash or something. I have to,
what
I have
bread?
exactly. It's so
You have to
ridiculous.
start. You have to put an asterisk for the I, like when
Yeah,
you say shit and everything else that
right, right.
you can't say white. But Elon,
Nope.
yeah, he needs to be celebrated. We need to have an Elon day because he knew that people like us are willing to pay for it because it's a platform where we can share. And guess what happened? He knew that it was going to weed out like the stupid people. And so the conservatives are on there
Amen.
now. And we were the ones who were able to spread the truth about what was going on with election interference, election fraud, and
Absolutely.
spread the word about what's happening, show videos, let them go viral. And they were not being suppressed. The fake lamestream media wasn't going to show it. So we had to use that platform. And I got kicked off of every platform. I even got kicked off of LinkedIn. I've been kicked off of every platform except for not X now, but I was kicked off when it was Twitter.
Did it make you mad when you found out the stuff that Elon Musk uncovered 3 months ago when they started releasing where money was sent? I was upset for the entire exposing what our leaders in this nation did with our tax dollars.
I don't know what pissed me off more, that or the fucking liberals who try to stop him from exposing more. But of course, we know now that the Democrats, the reason they're stopping is because they have something to hide. All of them, all of them. They were
Absolutely.
they were fighting too hard. It was going to go into their little kickback money. And now I just saw this morning where some of the organizations, charities, whatever, Chuck Schumer's involved with, like said, you have to show us the records, and he's refusing. Why? I
Right.
wonder. I
Why?
wonder why. It's so weird. I don't get it, man. These guys are innocent. What?
It's
So
like a
frustrating.
thief comes in your house and steals your goods, and liberals are mad that is being exposed. Don't you want to know what they took? Don't you want to know that the crooks stole your stuff?
They are the
Don't you?
crooks. They
Yeah,
are the crooks. Never mind that the poor, the hardworking American people like you and me are paying for this bullshit Sesame Street shit in the Middle East, transgender shows in China. I mean, like,
it was
why
so
am
you.
I
It
paying
was it was
I
a
work my
Dr.
ass off?
Seuss book. It
Okay,
was
my
so
voice goes high.
silly. The
My
stuff.
voice goes high when I get upset. Now you know what that sounds like when Steve and I argue. He's like, my voice goes up when I get upset and excited and pissed. But yeah,
And they're burning Teslas. They're constantly doing an about face. They're constantly the double standard, the hypocrisy. Now Elon Musk is the enemy. Now people are going and they're going to prison for they're being convicted for burning Teslas for damaging other people's property.
for other
It
liberals'
just blows my
properties,
mind.
liberals damaging liberals' property. Because most
Yeah.
of the people that own those were liberals.
I live with my son temporarily right now. He's 31, and I'm around his friends and his people, and I've learned not to talk about politics because most of them follow blindly that racism, hate, that whole spiel with how MAGA is, and I'm seeing the young generation,
Not how
being
MAGA
exposed to
is,
it more.
not how MAGA is, how they are
How
from
their perception of
because of what the
conservative
left is
values
doing.
are,
Yeah,
right?
falsely. Yes. Hmm.
And you're, but I still don't believe that they have the power to turn the great state of Oklahoma,
Not
to
now. I think
I just
before
don't.
maybe, but not now. Not now with how far left the Democrats have gotten and all the things. Things in this Trump era is going to expose. And everyone's like, sure, they always say that. You guys just watch. You're about to see shit hit the fan in a good way for the Democrats. I mean, they're about to all be exposed.
All Trump does is turn a light on
Yeah, he
in
turns
a
the light
dark
on.
room
Yeah,
and
and you know
point
what?
towards the roaches that are scurrying away.
And these
See, I
roaches
told you.
are the ones who are saying, "Oh, he's coming after me because he's getting back at me. So he's using the weaponization of our justice system.
And now they're
That's why he's not
defending
serving."
the MS-13 gang members. Now they're.
So
It's just
anti-American. It's so
I know.
anti-American. I can't even. It's like if you love those shitty ass criminals so much, go. Why don't you welcome them into your home?
Oh, exactly. Hey, you
Yeah.
said you were kicked off those platforms. Have you, like me, lost good friends on Facebook? People that you know and love because of politics? Because I have. I have had people that I genuinely love that because I post my conservative opinions have blocked me and have nothing to do with me. And that's straight up division. I hate that. Have you lost friends? Because you said you were booted off all these platforms, but have you had people that are close to you block you or not have anything to do with you because you're so outspoken about your
I have always been really particular about who I allow in my circle. I don't have a lot of real friends. I have my sisters, I have my daughters, I have my grandkids, I have the love of my life, Steve. And then I have people like you who we may not see each other very often, but we have this kinship, that we developed early on and when we just knew we were going to be good friends. Um, People like
absolutely
that. But I don't have people who unfriended me. I like them. And okay, here's an example. Someone I used to work with many years ago when I was at the edge, she ended up having health issues. I don't want to get specifics so people will know who I'm talking about.
right,
I
right.
was the only one in sales that really and that went to go see her in the hospital. But I went to see her and we became friends after that. So it's weird to me that I didn't even know she unfriended me, but her friend who was actually involved with a major political thing that came exposed in Tulsa not too long ago. I didn't know who she was behind it, her friend. And she's messaged me. She goes, "That's me. I'm the one I own this page." I'm like, "Oh my gosh, you're the one who exposed all of this." And then she told me that she lost this friend also. And I said, "Yeah, I just looked and she unfriended me." I said, I thought I meant more to her than that, but I guess not." I said, "And you know what? That's okay. I don't feel the love lost. If you're going to be that shallow, like you're not going to let people have their mind, like, opinions and you judge them off of that. Thank God no one judged you before you, hopefully found
Absolutely.
Jesus because heaven forbid, no one's perfect. But let me just tell you, I'm like you. My girls are not very political. Well, one of them is, and she swings really far to the left, but she's a really smart girl. I love her so much. We can have conversations we didn't used to. She had to mature. I had to mature. We both had to mature a little bit to be able to have. But I
Takes a
would
lot
ask
of
her.
guts to admit that.
But you know what? I would have to ask her the why. But and I would tell her, I don't want to know so that I can talk you out of thinking that way. I literally want to know where your mindset is and where you're coming from. And I would not argue with her on that. She would just,
Right.
it took a couple of times for her to trust me on that because the old me would have been like, try to talk her, how can you think that way? Then, I don't
There's
do that anymore. I just really want to know where these people are coming from. And
I don't like the division. I want
yeah,
I want diverse friends. I want hardcore liberals. I want to always get their point of view. I want to know why. Exactly what you just said. Well, why do you hate Trump so much? I used to think deranged Trump syndrome, Trump, whatever it's called, I thought it was a joke, but I'm
it's a thing.
understanding that it's real, that people just they can't sleep at night. They're just they hate that man so much, and they can't even explain it. It's a real thing,
It
and
is a
I
real thing.
I don't want to not be friends with you. I still want you, somewhat in my life. I've never unfriended someone, blocked someone because I don't like their political
I haven't
views.
either. I haven't either. But you
I
know what?
think
That's because
that's
we're
the
smart.
difference between us and them.
So here's my thought too. The way I look at it is it's just weeding out the stupid people in my life. They are proving Darwin right every single day. That's all
Oh
I
my
can
God.
say. every
But you
day.
would forget, but you would take them back if they reached out to you, if they apologized, and I know you're a forgiving person. You
To
would be,
forgive. I mean, there really isn't anything to forgive. If they reached out and friended me, because I
just
don't think
being a jerk.
people don't
Yeah,
have the balls to just own up. We've had this conversation. I've evolved as a person because I looked at myself and said, take the blinders off, look at the ugly and fix it. Because I saw a person that I wanted to be. I saw a life that I wanted to have. And I wasn't going to get there if I didn't change my ways, my choices in life, the things that just the direction I was headed, the things that came out of my mindset, everything. So the moment I put Christ in the middle of everything, then everything kind of fell into place. So as soon as I did that, and then I started looking at myself and going, I'm not going to lie. I used to lie a lot. I don't do that. Ask my sisters; they'll tell you. I've been asked to lie a few times, and I'm like, I can't do it. I won't do it. And it's ugly, but it's
good for
refreshing.
you.
I trust you if you tell the truth every
If you
time and
admit,
own
if
it.
you admit,
Yes, it's
own your
worse than the
stuff, and
crime.
we can. People don't
That's
own their stuff. You
no,
just
I don't
own
have
it.
respect for that. Mm-mm.
No.
I don't have respect for that. So,
I've
um,
changed a lot too. Houston was such a journey in my life that I believe that God used to really grow me up. I absolutely needed that experience. It really changed me. I went down there with expectations, and everything was just hard. It was so hard, and it stretched me. And my work ethic, my complaining. I hate complaining. It's probably one of my worst suits. It's the chink in my armor, and the Bible preaches against it. Complaining's a big no-no with God, and man, the Lord just purged that stuff out of me. I absolutely needed that 8 years. It was boot camp, and it completely made me appreciate that less is more. It really helped me prioritize what is more important in life.
mhm.
I got the big house, I got the high paying job, and it didn't fulfill me. I think God answered all my prayers and let me have everything I asked Him for to prove to me this isn't going to make you happy. You have to wake up every day and choose to be happy and choose to be thankful and stop complaining and live life on purpose and give yourself, be as positive as you can and be thankful and grateful. And since I've been back last August, I feel the change. I feel it.
That's
I'll
amazing.
never leave this place again.
But you know what?
I
Can I
won't.
just tell you, first of all, I'm so glad you're back. So I can't wait to have you out. We'll do it soon. I do want to have you over. I told Steve was excited to have you come over and shoot the shit out on the patio. But I want to go back to I want to say an epiphany with God. I think it's great. And I want you to know it takes, I feel like it's a gift that God gives us. Some people hit this moment earlier. You and I were a little bit late bloomers because I totally get that. But it's a gift when he gives you the ability to see that it's you have to do the work and have to see the change. You have to see it. It's like he gives you this vision so that you can start the process of working your way to
Someone's preaching, girl.
at the end, right? At the end, what is it about? It's about entering into the kingdom of heaven for all eternity. At the end of the day, that's what it's about. And so if you start making
I
those changes
agree.
now, yes, the older we get, we don't want to go backwards in stupid choices. We want to go forward and try to get there and try to tell people without being judgy. Okay. I'm not a judge. I can't stand judginess. And I know someone out there is going to be like, they're being like Nelly from Little House going, you just, judged,
That's her face.
liberals. I know, right? Because I've seen it, liberals, but I'm like, I'm not judging. I'm just stating facts. Okay. I'm stating facts of how it is. And those facts anger me. Another thing is, I cuss like a sailor and I'm working on it. People are probably looking at like, she's cussed and talked about God in the same podcast. Okay.
Jesus
Yes,
and Mother. It's tough. It's
it's tough.
tough.
And I'm
It's
working on it.
tough.
I'm trying to be more
It's tough.
ladylike, I'm trying to get there. I'll get there. But just know sometimes when I mean, I had to take down a post. X didn't even block my post.
You're
You don't even want to know.
passionate, and that comes out in expletives. I
This
mean,
Canadian called mag people like maggot and went off, and I was tired. When I'm tired, I'm like a little cranky kid. So I responded with the worst, like, you don't know what the F, I said everything and I said, shut the and sit down. I was like, Stephen drinking. And I woke up the next day and the first thing I thought was like, oh shit, that post. And I go to it and I take it down because I felt bad. Because I felt bad that I wasn't strong enough to just resist that temptation to just lash out. And then I felt
Right.
bad for being mean to that person. I don't know that person. I shouldn't have said that to that person. It was a
That's
terrible thing to
proof that you
say.
have a good heart, that you would even be bothered by it, that your
Oh, it bothered
conscience
me.
was pricked by it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I
It
thought that
bothered me.
Oklahoma was, yeah, I thought that Oklahoma was the problem. I blamed this place. I felt like a big fish in a small pond, and I wasn't. And I said, if I could just get a better job, if I could just get a nice house, if I could just be in a cool big city, if I could just meet new friends. And the problem was me. I took the problem with me to Houston. I woke up one day and I said, I still feel the same. I'm the problem. And that was the biggest epiphany in my life. That was the biggest aha moment in my
Yeah.
life. That waking up and going, wait a minute, I have the house, I have the job. God gave me everything I wanted. I'm the problem. My attitude, my work ethic, my inability to be happy, my constantly saying, if this, and this would just happen, then I'll be happy.
Yeah.
Instead of waking up every day and choosing to be happy and choosing to be positive and grateful. And that was a sobering minute when I went, oh my God, I'm still the same.
Yeah.
Oklahoma was never the problem.
Right.
And it was the biggest life-changing event in my heart. And I pray I never forget. I thank God every
You
day for the
won't.
journey.
I can just
I
tell by
thank
the way
him
you're
every
talking
day
about
for
it.
the
Yeah.
people he put in my life in Houston, for how hard it was
Mm-hmm.
driving an hour and a half to work, the heat, the humidity. I could
I
just
don't know
go
how
on.
you did
Like,
it.
so we
Yeah.
need to have a
Yeah.
Houston episode for
No, I'll have you
cigars.
back. I want to get into some more music next time too. It's just the time goes
Yeah.
by so fast, right? I mean, I love
Yes.
this. It's
Holy
so much fun
moly.
though. I know, right? I've had a really good time. I am looking forward to having you over. I know Steve is. We'll do a whiskey flight. We'll have like,
I'm going to bring him a bottle of whiskey. I'm
oh, you
going
don't
to.
have to do that. I'm just saying we'll
I
do a whiskey
love
flight.
giving people. I gave my barber a bottle of Buffalo Trace, and he just
Nice.
looked at me and he goes, "What?" He was so shocked.
That's so
He
sweet.
and it. I love giving. Giving is so. It's such a beautiful thing. The look on his face. He goes, "Well, I'm not going to charge you for the haircut." And I go, "No, you're not.
No,
No, this
yes.
is a
That's not
gift."
the point. Yeah.
Because he has a little whiskey display thing in his barber shop in downtown Tulsa, and it just felt so good. I love giving
That's
whiskey.
so sweet. You know what? When you come over, I want you to see I got Steve for his birthday. I think it was last year, the year before. I got him the little round display that's flat, it's got Blantons on it with all the little horses. And I got him the different colored. I got him the gold horses and I got him the old brass looking horses. So he's got two different
Oh wow! I
collections.
want to
Yeah.
see that.
And it lights
Holy
up. You
moly!
turn the light on and it lights up. So in the evening when we have friends over, it looks beautiful. You can see that it lights up the
Oh
bottle of
wow!
whiskey. Yeah, it's gorgeous. So
I'm
that's
going
why
to San
busy.
Francisco in July for my brother's wedding, and I'm going to meet my first cousin who I've never met.
Are you really? Oh my
Yes, she's
gosh. Okay,
super
I'm not trying to
awesome.
be mean. This is an awesome. You just told me a really important thing, but when you said San Francisco, all I kept thinking of was like Asian food in Chinatown and
Oh
dumplings. That's
Lord!
what
No,
I thought of when you said that.
the burritos in the Mission District is the absolute. I love burritos,
Yeah.
but not all burritos were created equal. And in the Mission District of San Francisco is some of the best Mexican food I've ever had. And the Asian food's good there too, but I'll never forget those
I love Asian
burritos.
food. Yeah. If someone asked me the other day, like, if you could have one food, what would it be? I said Asian. They're like, well, that's kind of big. Can you like narrow it down? I'm like, no, because I love all
The
kinds.
whole spectrum. I could
Okay.
live on Mexican food. Living in Houston for 7, 8 years, we ate it so much that I have yet to go out for Mexican in the
What's
eight
your,
months I've been back.
okay, you got to go to Little Mexico. Go to Little Mexico, 21st and Garnett.
Oh
And
yes,
it's
yes.
lined up with restaurants. You can't go wrong. We went to this little hole in the wall and they didn't have alcohol. And we thought it was the place we went to before. Steve couldn't remember, but it was more Tex-Mex. They try to cater to the Americans, and it was his enchiladas were drowned in sauce and cheese. And I said, that's not real Mexican food. My mom never used that shit when she made food for us. She always made it fresh and healthy. And so we went to this little place and that's what it was. He had enchiladas, but that were like barely dipped in sauce. And then, so it was kind of like dried in or baked into the tortilla. and then they put like a little bit of drizzle of crema and a little bit of queso fresco on it with some lettuce. And I was like, that's what my mom used to make. And my
You're
burrito,
making me hungry.
it
Good
didn't, it had
Lord.
like, you got to go there. The burrito was like amazing. It had like
I'm going to
fresh
go
carne
there.
asada. Yeah, it was really good. And no, a little drizzle of Monterey Jack cheese, not like sprinkled, shredded, but they didn't have that greasy, cheesy shit that people think is Mexican
That's
food. I'm like, no,
Tex-Mex. That's
I
white
know.
man.
I'm not.
Yeah. There's
So
a
what's
new
your
Mexican restaurant on 15th Street that I want to try. I can't think of the name. It's right there on Cherry Street, and it's brand new.
Cherry
And
Street?
Cherry Street, right there in the midst of it, where the old Subway was, they built a brand new Mexican restaurant. I've read rave reviews
I
about it.
think I've
I've
seen
got
that
to
on
try it.
Tulsa. Yeah, I don't remember what it's called. So what's your favorite, before we get off here, what's your favorite Mexican food? Your favorite? Like you have to have it every time you go to
I
this.
like, I like in Texas, I learned about skirt, the cut of meat that's
I
super
love skirt
thin,
steak. Hmm.
and marinating that in olive oil, cilantro, and different spices and arbol chilies and stuff, and having street tacos with enough cilantro to bury a rabbit. I mean, just that's my favorite is street
Mine too.
tacos.
I love. Okay, let me tell
Street
you a quick story.
tacos.
I could tell you, we could talk about food all day, but I want to tell you this story. So when we were little, we were little, I was always in the kitchen with my mom and dad. My dad would come home from work. He would be home. I would be there. Like two things my dad exposed me to that I loved and I will never forget as a foodie. But money was tight with four kids. So my mom made him street tacos with pork, like carnitas, just
Carnitas.
carnitas, onion, cilantro, and then she made the little tomatillo sauce. Anyway, that was the first time I ever had them, and I was like, my dad goes, "You want a bite?" And I'm like, "Yeah." So I had a bite. I must have been like four or five. I still remember this. My mouth
Oh
was watering just thinking
wow.
the memories of thinking about it. And it was like,
Oh wow.
and the other thing my dad had was my mom, he went, stopped the store and got a filet. I'd never had filet steak. My mom cooked it for him, and he said she cooked it perfectly medium rare. And he said, "You want to taste?" And my mom said, "Oh, she shouldn't have raw meat. She's still little." And he goes, "She'll be okay. It's just a bite." And I remember the taste of it and the texture of it. And I was like, what is this? I really attribute him and my mom for making me the foodie that I am today,
That is
because
so cool.
yeah, my mouth is still watering. I'm going to spit all
Your
over the mic, but
eyes are like glittering telling this
glistening.
story. I know you're passionate about food because you can see it. It's like
Yeah.
I get that way talking about movies.
Yeah. I'm like that with politics, food, whiskey, cigars, anything. But yes, you got to definitely come back. Maybe at the end of the season, or maybe when we start for next season, and we'll talk movies and music some more, because I could talk music and movies all day long. I'm
Man, this was
excited.
so much fun.
I
Thank
know.
you
I
so
told
much.
you. I'm so glad you came on board. Thank you so much for doing this. This has been fun. So I've enjoyed it, and I can't wait to have you over. So and
That'd be
hang out.
great. I'd love
I'll
to.
make some street tacos for you. I'll make some
Oh
homemade
gosh.
tortillas.
And
Yes.
I'm
Anyway, well, have fun at Mayfest. Be safe.